The Rams beat the Bengals 23-20 off of late game heroics by the referees. Now, Drew,
my God.
Drew, I want you. This is your segment. I want you to talk.
No, you can go first, bro. You can go first.
You want me to go first?
I want you to go first.
Okay.
I want you to go first.
All right. He's setting me up. He's setting me up for a rebuttal. Okay. I'll go first. The game was extremely close. I thought it was one of the better Super Bowls that I've seen in a while. Last season, it was domination by the Bucs. The year before, San Fran had the lead on KC. Then we had these miraculous Mahomes and Tyreek Hill play that ended up resulting in them winning, Jimmy G missing that touchdown. But this game, it was close throughout the entire game, and that's what I love so much about it. The Bengals should have won this game.
He's sick, man.
It's as simple as that. What Joe Burrow had to go through in this game, I don't think any other quarterback could have survived it. There was charts by PFF that measured the pass blocking rates by each team. Matthew Stafford's curve was consistent. Joe Burrow's, from the first snap to the very last, trending downwards. I mean, he was in trouble. He did not have more than 1.5 seconds to get the ball off. And the game plan was to pass the ball, was to make quick passes and really spread out the offense so we can make a decision with the ball. Burrow by no means played a perfect game. I thought he missed some throws. He missed some crucial third down throws. 4th and 1, the very last play of the game by the Bengals, he had Uzama to his left side. I thought it was a good play design, but Aaron Donald just got there and he couldn't even get there. Burrow was under duress so many times. He's taken 70 sacks this season. The fact that he was standing up straight to finish out this game is a credit to him.
No doubt.
He almost injured his knee.
Yeah.
Again.
He did.
Because he's been beat up all season long. This is a quarterback who won a playoff game despite taking 9 sacks, took 7 sacks in the Super Bowl, and was 3 points away from beating a stacked Los Angeles Rams team. There was a point in time where the Rams offense was stagnant, and it showed.
It did.
The Rams are not a team built off of depth. So when you lose OBJ, when you don't have Robert Woods, when you don't have Tyler Higbee, it shows, and it hurts.
Or Kendall Blanton. Can't forget him. He
You're
went
right.
out also.
You're right. Sean McVay, for the first 11 drives, it wasn't a spread out offense. They weren't playing up tempo. In the first 11 drives, the average space of where players lined up was about 23 yards. On the very last drive, it was 27 yards. And that's how the Bengals spread out their offense. When Zach Taylor went to Cincy, he took some core concepts of Sean McVay's offense, but he just spread out the offense more. And the offense has been able to be successful. On that last drive, the Rams offense was more spread out. And when you spread out the offense, it makes defenses spread out with it, which means that they have to play more zone. And when teams play zone, a smart quarterback like Stafford, not as smart as Burrow, but a smart quarterback like Stafford can pick apart that zone. And that's why you saw they weren't able to double team Kupp, because it's a zone. He finds the open spot. Him and Stafford have that connection. That no-look pass was amazing. And then the touchdown on Eli Apple. Just an amazing throw.
Barbecue
Matthew Stafford played an amazing game. He had 2 interceptions, but the second one, the receiver should have caught it.
The first one,
you keep saying, oh, it was basically an arm punt. No. The Rams were on the Bengals 46-yard line. It was 3rd and 14.
Let him nitpick.
Had Matthew Stafford gotten 6 yards, Matt Gay can attempt a field goal, and that's 3 more points on the board. I still don't agree with that decision. I thought it was a bad decision.
I'm sure.
Matthew Stafford also missed a pass on 3rd and 4 that was very high, and it gave the Bengals the ball back in the 4th. But overall, he played a very great game. All season long, I have said I don't trust Stafford in these big-time moments.
I know.
But I never once said he wasn't a great quarterback. And this is where you guys get me misconstrued. You mostly.
You don't like to pick a side.
I've never.
That's his issue.
No.
Came up with the name
Pick a
of the
side.
show
It's ironic.
and refuses to do so.
I am picking a side. But I have to be honest. And based on Matthew Stafford's career in Detroit, he has shown moments where he does make some boneheaded, egregious mistakes. But I never question his ability, his talent. He's a great quarterback. And overall, I'm glad he has a Super Bowl championship. Whether or not this makes him a Hall of Famer, we'll say for the next segment. And I know he's not one, but you're going to have something to say about that.
I'm saving for the next segment.
Oh, it's just a preview, a little sneak peek of my thoughts on it.
Interesting.
Matthew Stafford played a hell of a game. The running game wasn't nowhere to be found. You know, these entire playoffs versus Arizona, I didn't give Stafford much credit because everything was open. Everything was easy. Versus the Bucs, he was really great. Versus the 49ers, he was good. Versus the Bengals, I thought he played great. But the Bengals, man, for your two most important plays of the game to be 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 and not have Joe Mixon out there hurt. I understand the thought process on 3rd and 1 is that Piron is in there to pass block because Joe Mixon's not the best pass blocker. Piron is better at pass blocking. So they probably thought, okay, we can catch the Rams off guard a little bit by having Piron in there. They think it's a pass and we run it. Piron was so close to the first down. If that was Mixon, I guarantee he gets that. Yeah. He had 14 carries for over 70 yards. He was
good game.
He was great. He was great in that game. I wish they would have given him the ball more. And I just can't help but think back to the first Bengals offensive drive where Zach Taylor goes for it on 4th down in midfield that led to the Rams scoring drive. I like the aggressiveness, but to begin the game, I'm not in love with it. Even though Burrow on that 4th down, he missed T. Higgins. T. Higgins was open, but I'm not in love with that call. Now to my final point, the refs.
Ugh. What do they have to do with this?
Listen, man.
What do they have to do with this?
Listen, man. All game long, they weren't calling penalties. 3rd and goal at the 9-yard line. They called one on Logan Wilson, who did not hold Cooper Kupp. That was clean coverage. What I will say to rebuttal that is that the down before, Darrell Henderson was held. That was the play to call the holding on. That was the one.
Bro, he was holding his hip.
Logan Wilson, that was a legal play.
It was past 5 yards. He was holding his hip.
You know who Devondre Campbell is, right?
Uh-huh.
All-pro linebacker
yes,
who had a great season for.
Yes.
On Twitter, he went through and broke down the play and said Logan Wilson did not hold.
To be fair, he's probably going to side with the linebacker.
Okay, but it wasn't a hold. It really wasn't.
I agree.
It really wasn't.
I don't think it wasn't egregious.
The 2nd and goal one was the one where you could clearly see Darrell Henderson. I mean, they grabbed his entire shoulder pad. I think it was Jermaine Pratt that did it. He was held. So that was a makeup call. But my gripe with it is that all game long, you haven't been calling penalties. And now, in the most crucial possession, the most crucial down of the game, arguably, you call it. And then 4th and 1, when the Bengals have the ball, Tyler Boyd was held on that play. Tyler Boyd was held. They didn't call it. That's my gripe with it.
And what about the T. Higgins no call? I was just waiting for that one.
Okay, I'll explain it. The T. Higgins no call, yes, it was offensive pass interference. In real time, I can understand why the refs missed it. But secondly, it wasn't like that play was a 3rd and 10 or 4th and 2 to where if this pass isn't completed, we turn the ball over or we're punting.
Still 3rd down.
Okay, but it was first. That holding call was 3rd down. It would have been 4th and goal at the 9.
Okay, you have one more shot, and plus you still have 3 timeouts.
I don't think the Rams.
You still have 3 timeouts. The Bengals could not move the ball.
You're right. I don't think the Rams get it on 4th and 9. Based on how it was going, I don't think they get it on 4th and 9. That T. Higgins touchdown was on a 1st and 10.
Big hypothetical guy. This guy right here.
That T. Higgins touchdown was on a 1st and 10. Even if Burrow misses the pass or they call the offensive pass interference. For one, Aaron Donald was offsides on that play. It would have been offset.
He wasn't actually.
Or defensive lineman was offside.
He was not.
All right, whatever. It was a 1st and 10. They would have still had chances to get a 1st down on that drive. The drive was not over after that.
They just hadn't been able to move
that
the ball.
That 3rd and goal at the 9-yard line for the Rams. There's a 99% chance that that's 4th and goal at the 9. The Rams do not convert.
There's a 99% chance if it's 1st and 25 that the Bengals don't convert.
Bro, there was another flag on that drive also.
They got 10 chances at the goal line. I would hope Matthew Stafford can convert on that.
And they weren't stopping Kupp that entire drive. They would have thrown the ball to Kupp. Look, we're going to live in hypotheticals.
On 39.
We're going to continue to go on hypotheticals.
On 4th and goal at the 9, they would have thrown the ball to Cooper Kupp.
Did they not run a goal line fade to Cooper Kupp for the game-winning touchdown? True or false? So what are we hearing here?
At the 2-yard line when you have to account for the run.
Okay, and
on the 4th and goal, you don't have to account for a run.
They couldn't have run the entire game.
Okay, but you still have to respect it.
Do you?
Barely.
Yes.
They ran a QB sneak and they stopped it. The very next play,
it was second and goal. It was second and goal.
Again,
it was second and goal.
They ran a sneak on the 1-yard line with Matthew Stafford. Didn't get it. Next play, jump ball to Cooper Kupp, who is not known for that. Not at all. Only reason he got the opportunity is because ODB was out.
Okay, I know, but second and goal. And at second and goal,
so listen. This is what he's doing now. He's saying that Cooper Kupp, who has been money legitimately all season in a 3rd and 9, where apparently the run is now not a factor, is not going to get a great opportunity to catch the ball.
This is what I'm saying. Second and goal at the 2-yard line. You have to play goal line formation at the goal line. That just is what it is. That's why Kupp had the one-on-one with Eli Apple. When it's 4th and goal at the 9-yard line, you don't have to play goal line formation.
It changes, I know.
You can play dime. You can have 4 defensive backs out there. I guarantee you they would have had 2 bodies on Kupp in that play. That's what I'm saying. There's a big difference between second and goal at the 2 versus 4th and goal at the 9.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. But whatever. The Rams won, and ultimately, I am happy for them. Aaron Donald solidifies his legacy. Andrew Whitworth, who is going to be a first ballot Hall of Fame, one of the best left tackles of our generation. OBJ, Cooper Kupp, who, regardless of where I may rank him amongst top receivers, he just had the best receiving season of all time. That cannot be argued. When we look back in the record books, Cooper Kupp will be at the top of the list in best receiving seasons of all time, despite him having to go up against Eli Apple and stuff like that to do it. Doesn't matter. He's not going up against X's, so that's why, I would probably still take...
He was playing on the outside that game-winning touchdown.
Against Eli Apple.
Okay. Is that his fault or the Bengals' fault?
I'm not saying it's neither body's fault, but I'm just saying...
beat the guy in front of him.
But I'm just saying...
He did.
Regardless of where I rank Cooper Kupp, he had the best receiving season of all time.
For sure.
Matthew Stafford being in a Detroit Lions situation that's been horrid his entire career, despite a couple of seasons here and there, he solidifies his career as somebody who's not just a stat patter, volume stats guy, and you can win with him. And I think when he went to the Rams, we all thought it was possible. He was a guy that was great with the Lions. It's just the situation overshadowed it. So credit to the Rams. They won. I don't feel that bitter about it. We talked about it. We talked about it last week, how this Super Bowl didn't have a villain.
Yeah.
Am I a bit upset that Joe Burrow didn't win? Yes, I am, because Joe Burrow is my guy, and I feel for Bengals fans. Yeah. I really do. You want to know why I feel for Bengals fans? Because they may never see their team go to the Super Bowl again. And I know that everybody's saying the Bengals have such a bright future, cap space, these receivers. In 2009 and 2010, I saw my team, the New York Jets, go to 2 back-to-back AFC championships. It's 2022, and I have not seen them make the playoffs since.
We snipped it like once. Hate to see it.
Super Bowl hangovers are a real thing, and I feel bad for Cincy. I feel bad for Bengals fans because this was a soul-crushing loss. Yeah. And with all the hypotheticals that I named out there, I guarantee they're thinking about those in their head. They're dreaming about it. If this could have went right, we still think about it. If we could have stopped Ben Roethlisberger and AB on 3rd down, we could have won that game. That's going through their head. So I feel bad for those fans. The city deserved the Super Bowl, but the LA Rams, NFL had to make good on his markets. So I understand.
It was rigged.
I understand what happened.
Couldn't have Cincinnati win.
It's my time now?
Yeah, it's your time.
Oh, man. I've been waiting for this one. I really have been. I had to endure a lot sitting in this chair. Matthew Stafford against Tennessee on primetime, where weeks and weeks and weeks of already hearing Matthew Stafford is not primetime. I can't trust him. So what that he's top 3 active quarterbacks in game-winning drives? He was in Detroit. Meant nothing. The worst franchise in football means nothing when you're coming back to win a game. Game against the Niners, primetime. Chokes it, right? Doesn't have a great game. I have to sit in this chair and I have to withstand this guy telling me What do I keep telling you? You can't trust Stafford on prime time.
Don't question him. Can't trust him.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Here comes playoff time, and people are expecting me to fall off, right? Because Staffy's look questionable. The last game of the season, they lose to the Niners at home. Stafford throws a pick in overtime to lose the game.
Blow the lead.
And I'm supposed to fall off the Ramley. Why would I stick with them after they show me time and time again I should not trust this guy Matthew Stafford? But then I remember who Matthew Stafford actually is, what he's done his entire career with the worst franchise in football. Now he comes over to the Rams with a roster that is literally built for Matthew Stafford to succeed in. So it's a blowout against Arizona. Absolute slaughtering. Then against the Buccaneers, they're up 27-3. Suddenly the game's 27-27. And Matthew Stafford, with no timeouts, 2 plays, takes him down the field, puts him in field goal range for his first game-winning drive of the postseason. The very next week, against the Niners, 3 straight drives going down the field and scoring to lead the Rams to his now second game-winning drive of the postseason. Now here we are in the biggest moment of the season, the NFL Super Bowl. And Matthew Stafford loses Odell Beckham in the first half. It's clear how effective he and how essential he was to the offense. He goes out and the offense is stagnant. It really is. So. Run game couldn't get anything going. Cam Akers wasn't it. Sony Michel wasn't it. Darrell Henderson had a few moments. Really wasn't it either.
Game.
He was.
Good receiving game.
But when it mattered most, I had my feet kicked up, calm as could be, because I knew one thing and one thing only, who my quarterback was. And that was Matthew Stafford. 15 plays. Gets the Rams down the field. But let's not overlook this no-look pass to Cooper Kupp. Because if this was Patrick Mahomes, we would be talking about it till the next Super Bowl.
But people are talking about it though.
Because it happened on Sunday. I would hope that people would be talking about it. But I want more people to talk about it because the fact that to do it in the Super Bowl, to do it when you're losing, to do it when the game is on the line. I remember hearing that Stafford, one of his biggest problems was the confidence in his arm. That was a downfall of his. He's too overconfident in his arm. But what does he do? He trusts himself, trusts his abilities, looks off the defender where Bell is absolutely lost, and tosses an absolute dime to Cooper Kupp. I have goosebumps. For him to go down that field and for you to tell me about this non-holding call, whatever you want to say, the game was poorly officiated, the whole game. So whether you want to call that this one moment,
the biggest moment,
well, sure. The Bengals shouldn't have even, or the Rams shouldn't have even been in this position that they were losing. 75-yard touchdown should not have counted. So what am I here worried about one missed call when there was an obvious missed call that benefited the Bengals as well? And even still, I don't fully believe that was a missed call. He was grabbing his hip, and it was beyond 5 yards. It was a flag. And Sean McVay, youngest head coach to win a Super Bowl, that deserves praise. But let me tell you this. He was the worst part about the Rams this Sunday. He called a terrible game. You know what his game plan was on the final drive? Get the ball to Cooper Kupp. Matthew Stafford, do whatever you can to get the ball to Cooper Kupp. I can tell you right now, Sean McVay did not tell Matthew Stafford to no-look pass to Cooper Kupp. You know who only can do that? Matthew Stafford. Now, I don't want to make this just a Matthew Stafford thing because I just had to address that solely. Aaron Donald. Wow. He was absolutely amazing. I'll give all the credit in the world to Stafford. I'll give all the credit in the world to Kupp. You cannot talk about this game without mentioning Aaron Donald. 2 sacks, the game-winning play on Joe Burrow.
8 pressures.
8 pressures. He was amazing. In my opinion, should have been the Super Bowl MVP. Was absolutely amazing. I understand why Cooper Kupp got it for sure. But Cooper Kupp did not leave his mark on this game until the last drive. Aaron Donald made his presence felt the entire game. In my opinion, he should have been Super Bowl MVP. And it could have been a whole lot easier for him to walk away from this game. Because he walks away with the greatest resume defensive players ever had in a span of 8 years. What an excellent moment this is for the Rams organization, for the Ramley. Matthew Stafford vindicating his career in year one after leaving the worst franchise in football to come and show your value this quickly is impressive to me, and I'm nothing but happy for him. And I'm thrilled to be sitting in this chair right now, celebrating a Rams championship.
Called it.
Week one. I sat in this chair and I said they might be perfect.
Kills me that it was over the Bears.
I do have to disagree with you about the Aaron Donald thing. He doesn't have a better resume than Lawrence Taylor in his first 8 years.
3 Defensive Player of the Years, All-Pro.
Interior, too.
Interior lineman, too. Getting 18-plus sacks as an interior lineman is absolutely insane.
Lawrence Taylor, in his first 8 seasons, was an All-Pro in all of them except one. He was 7-time All-Pro.
So similar to Aaron Donald.
He was an MVP in 1988.
Come on. Can we? That's amazing.
MVP,
Aaron Donald hasn't deserved an MVP?
I'm not saying he hasn't.
That's what I'm saying.
He's a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, too.
Similar to...
And 2-time Super Bowl champion.
Donald's got one.
Super Bowl
Aaron
MVP?
Donald, it's 1 and 2, but...
Does he have the Super Bowl MVP? No.
Let me check. He does not.
Because in my honest to God opinion, I do, regardless of agenda or not, I do believe he should have been Super Bowl MVP.
I don't think anyone would be mad by that.
He left his mark on this game,
the game-winning
from
play.
Start to finish, and he had the game-winning play. So you add the Super Bowl MVP on top of that, I think the conversation starts to really favor Aaron Donald.
It's a conversation, but Lawrence Taylor, I think, still has.
He has the longevity.
Yeah. You're not going to, listen, you won't hear her argument. Like you said, they're probably the 2 most dominant players we've ever seen play defense. I mean, we haven't seen Lawrence Taylor before our time, but Aaron Donald's a freak. Sunday, listen, if you guys listen to the show, if you're watching, I want you to know that Drew celebrated this win like he's been a Rams fan for 15 years.
Listen,
you should have saw him.
When you're on the right
crazy.
Side of history, there's a certain euphoria that goes through your body. Joel can attest to this also, because Joel last season predicted that the Buccaneers would win the Super Bowl, and I'm sure he felt that same joy that I was feeling.
It was hilarious because you were like more excited than Sean was.
I don't know.
I saw you jump
Sean
in.
told me he went home and cried.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
You know that
when the Jets win, I will cry.
Yeah,
I'll cry like a baby.
I cried when Payton won. Are you kidding me?
The Super Bowl had 122 million viewers. Detroit, their TV market, 50% of people that lived in Detroit were watching it. And they made up 2 of the biggest ones. It was Cincy and it was Detroit.
Wow.
Yeah.
That makes
so most Lions fans were really rooting for Stafford.
Because if you're a Lions fan, how do you not root for Stafford? You just realize the organization's bad, not Stafford. This game was amazing. You know, like you mentioned, these last couple Super Bowls, last year was obviously terrible. And the year before that, the Chiefs kind of took a while to get going, but this one was great. We saw all the stars shine. Right, Jamar Chase right out the gate, deep ball over Jalen Ramsey. We saw Cooper Kupp have 2 touchdowns to win MVP. Aaron Donald had multiple sacks. He could have arguably been MVP. Odell was having this resurgence and really looked like he was going to cap off his season, showing everyone that the Browns were at fault and Baker was at fault, not Odell. And the game-winning drive by the Rams, capped off by the game-stopping drive, I guess if you want to call it that, by the Rams defense. I mean, it was really hard to have a better storybook ending to the way this game went. I was rooting for the Rams. I was pulling for them without a doubt. But me and Joel were talking before the game started. We said, I wouldn't be too mad if the Bengals won. Because like you said, I'm a Jets fan. I've been in those franchises that have been down the dumps before. And it really does suck when you get all the way there. And the Cincinnati, where no one expected it, I wouldn't have been too upset. But I'm happy that, I was the most right at this table the entire playoffs. I had 1 more than Drew. I had like 7 more than you.
Did you?
I did. I had 1 more. I had 1 more.
All right.
I had it was a rough year for you. We discussed it, though. It's okay. You'll
bounce back
about your
playoff record?
All the way through. Yeah, but it's okay.
I had the ultimate W, though.
You did, for sure.
Thanks.
I wasn't here week 1, to be fair.
You weren't. Would you have picked him week 1?
Probably not.
Okay, all right.
Who would you pick?
Honest.
Probably Green Bay, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? We'll see next year.
All it took was week 1 for me to change it from Green Bay to the Rams.
Bears too is hilarious.
Bro, I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can remember that game. It was absolute. I'm just saying, like, if you can, like, it really stuck out.
They smoked them.
They dominated them.
They smoked them.
It was like something out of a movie, like the 5K, the 8K television, the bright lights of SoFi. It really was awesome to see.
And to talk about this phantom holding call that's been going crazy everywhere, I tweeted it. I don't give a damn. I don't care one bit about this stupid holding call.
Talk to him.
Because number one, we talked about the T. Higgins 75-yard touchdown. That was absolute nonsense. It was also 3rd down for the Rams. They had an extra down. If they didn't get it on 4th down, they have 3 timeouts to stop Cincinnati, who wasn't able to move the ball the entire game. Cincinnati had 2 touchdowns. One was a touchdown, 75 yards to T. Higgins. That was an offensive pass interference. The other touchdown was a Joe Mixon pass. Those were their only 2 touchdowns of the game. And they had opportunities. He had a higher
QBR than Joe Burrow.
They had a 45-yard pass to Jamar Chase over Jalen Ramsey. They settled for a field goal. They intercepted Matt Stafford on the 30-yard line. They settled for a field goal. So the Bengals had opportunities to go down and score, but they settled for field goals. That's why the Bengals should have won is nonsense. They had opportunities to, multiple, with big plays, offensively and defensively, and they folded. So I can't sit here and feel bad for Cincinnati because they had the opportunity to. They had the chance to do this. The Rams dominated this game. 7 total sacks, 26 pressures. The Bengals converted just 21% of their 3rd downs. They were 1 for 3 on 4th down. They were 1 for 3 in the red zone. The only thing the Bengals won was the turnover battle, which we discussed already. The first interception, I wasn't mad with. Stafford had a rollout to his left. It was obvious. Well, in his eyes, nobody was open. Maybe there is once we see the all-22. He threw it up to Van Jefferson because you know what? If you don't get it there, you punt the ball. Who cares? And the second one was a little bit in front of the receiver. Sure, it got tipped. The DB was in perfect position, and he got an interception. So the Bengals deserve to win. The refs stole this for them. It's complete nonsense. And let's not forget the last 5 possessions for the Bengals: punt, 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 turnover on downs, 50 total yards of offense. That's the team that deserves to win?
Yes.
Okay. And you're drunk. You're drunk.
Maybe just a little bit. I will tell you this though. This is just ridiculous what you guys are saying.
Oh no, I spoke nothing.
The T. Higgins touchdown. You said you basically in your monologue said, had that touchdown not happened, you basically, this is what I got from it. Had that touchdown not happened, the Rams comfortably win. That's what I thought you meant.
They shouldn't have been in that situation.
It was 13-10 at halftime. It was a very close game. That touchdown does not happen. It's 2nd and 10. And the Bengals still have a chance.
Or they call a flag and it's 1st and 25.
The Bengals still have a chance.
We're going to throw that out? We're going to throw the 1st and 25 out.
Yeah.
1st and 25 and 1st and difference.
I trust
Huge
Burrow.
difference.
I trust Burrow.
They got 50 yards in the second half. 5 possessions. They got 50 yards.
Can we use context though, please? The reason why the Bengals offense started to stagnate was because Joe Burrow injured his knee. Let's not forget that.
Stafford got banged up too.
He did.
I know he got banged up. I give him all the credit in the world for bouncing back from that. I know, but there's a difference between an ankle and a knee. He sprained his knee. He sprained his knee, bro.
And Stafford was dealing with a ankle injury in the playoffs too. He hurt it against the Niners.
What I'm saying is that even if that T. Higgins touchdown doesn't happen, let's say they don't score on that position regardless. It's still 13-10 with the Rams getting the ball back, and the Bengals defense had been great all game long.
They were.
The reason why the Rams scored that first touchdown is because they had great field position at midfield because Zach Taylor went for it at 4th down.
Cincinnati had great field position twice.
You want to know what's the difference?
Please.
The difference is that Matthew Stafford the protection he received was out of this world. I could count maybe 4 times he was really pressured.
100%. What
Burrow
we picked the Rams to win. The one thing we said was because their offensive line is terrible.
We know. Matthew Stafford wasn't pressured. He wasn't pressured.
This isn't a surprise.
He got sacked twice, though.
Yes. That's why I said I can count on one hand how many times he actually got pressured.
You're acting like this is a surprise.
It's not a surprise, but I'm saying all those drives that you're telling me, they ended in 3 punts.
Yes.
He only had 50 yards in these last couple of drives.
5.
All of those crucial third down plays, there was a guy on Burrow. Whether it was Von Miller or it was Aaron Donald,
they violated.
I know, but what I'm saying is that you have to use context. The Burrow knee injury, and we just can't take out that big play by Higgins. Like, does this play not happen?
We're not taking it away, but
does this play not happen?
You can't talk some hypotheticals, and we can't talk others. You can't talk about the holding. We can't talk about Higgins. You have to allow both.
The Higgins play wasn't the biggest play of the game. That holding call was the biggest
if it wasn't for the Higgins play, that holding doesn't matter because the Rams would have smoked them. It would have been a 2-possession game.
That's just so stupid because they were up 13-10 at that point. What if they don't score on that drive? How is it? Wait, hold on. If they don't score on that drive, how is all of a sudden they get smoked when they're losing 13-10? They're losing by 3 points. How?
Because it's a 7-point swing, a 14-point swing potentially. Instead of 7 to the Bengals, it goes 7 to the Rams.
That created a 4-point swing for the Bengals. Why do you assume that the Rams would have just scored on that drive?
Why do you assume that the Rams didn't score on 4th down, or they stopped them and also they don't get it and stop them on defense?
Hold on. You're also assuming that after that throw on T. Higgins, let's say it didn't happen, right? There's no touchdown. You're also telling me that you do believe that Joe Burrow would have gone down the field and scored.
They did it. That Joe Mixon touchdown, they did it. Not the Joe Mixon touchdown, but
that was before
the Matthew Stafford interception where they got the field goal. Like they moved down the field at times, bro. Like they were moving the ball. Before Burrow got hurt, they were moving the ball.
Bro, barely though. And when did he injure his knee? What drive?
I think it was late in the third or early in the fourth. But what I'm saying is
still before that they had 2 3 and outs before the knee injury.
If you guys want to say who cares about the holding call because of the T. Higgins play, I'm fine with you guys saying that. But when you add on that had they called that offense pass interference on Higgins, the Rams smoked the Bengals. That's when I have a comfortable game. No.
It's a comfortable game.
I don't understand how you can say that when the score is 13-10.
I can say that.
How can you say when the score is 13-10?
Because there's a different type of pressure.
They're down by 3,
there's
bro.
There's a different type of pressure.
And the Bengals have been facing different type of pressure all season long.
We're talking different type of mental pressure where they were actually getting physical pressure.
If you want to disregard these hypotheticals, I'm okay with it.
Okay,
but when you guys
disregard everything, look at the score. Rams won.
But when you say
the only reason why you have any type of argument is because you're using hypotheticals.
No, but when you say that they comfortably win had that touchdown not happened, that's where I have a problem with it because
the Bengals couldn't move the ball.
Bro, there's no evidence that the Rams comfortably win if that play doesn't happen regardless. It doesn't make sense.
They couldn't move the ball. What do you want from me? They could not move the ball damn near the entire game.
There's nothing you could say again before the knee injury. 2 3 and outs.
Touchdown.